Hey Bronx Science!
Welcome to a special episode of Wolverine TV. I'm Veronica.
And I'm Kaylee. Welcome to the 2025 SO elections.
Let's first start off with the JSLT candidates.
Good afternoon, Bronx Science. My name is Noang, and I'm running to be your next JSLT. I believe that true leadership isn't about the number of promises you make, but about focusing on the issues that matter most. That's why I'm dedicated to 4 pillars to build a school crucial to your success. Those are better college preparation, improved mental health, greater inclusion, and a cleaner school. First, go to the Bronx Science website. Notice how there's nothing mentioning college exam preparation? We're a top school. We deserve top-level preparation. As your JSLT, I'll create a section dedicated to prep with things such as books, websites, and videos. For exams such as the SAT, ACT, you name it, I'll create it. Second, I'll champion mental health by creating a program so you can find people that share the same passions you have. All you have to do is fill out a Google form, label your hobbies, and you'll find the same people that have similar interests. I'll even add an after-school event so that you and your group get to know each other better. Third, I'll foster inclusion so that people from all cultures feel represented here. Using my involvement in multiple cultural clubs, such as the Asian American Association, as well as connections to many more, I'll foster collaboration between these clubs so that inclusive events can be held. These events will feature cultural games, artwork, music, and dance. If any of you like henna, you know who to vote for. Finally, let's talk about the bathrooms. Put simply, they're diabolical. There are spills everywhere and supplies always need to be restocked. I have a simple fix. That is creating a Google form so you can file complaints about these spills and lack of materials so that we all have a cleaner school. Remember, when you're voting, it's about quality, not quantity. A strong leader not only makes great promises, but also tells you how to turn those ideas into actions. So remember, be a good pal, vote for Noang Namgyal.
Hey Bronx Science, I'm Rachel Tan and I'm running to be your next JSLT. As a peer, I've heard all the complaints, from lacking guidance to wanting a stronger school community. That's why I'm advocating for 3 goals. First, academic empowerment. Let's have semesterly guidance counselor check-ins so your recommendation letter doesn't sound like a last-minute introduction. I'll send out a master list of scholarship opportunities and college tour options in the beginning of the school year. And why not have course selection grades cutoff be announced earlier and the opportunity to sit in classes that you actually want to take, because preparation is key for success. Let's also tap into our amazing alumni foundation through a digital platform where you can message our graduates who are once right in your place. Second, school spirit reimagined. Picture wearing school merch that you actually helped design, representing Bronx Science's most authentic selves and not just our logo. And a school scavenger hunt in the beginning of the year would help rebuild community, and an end of the year showcase to feature clubs ranging from fashion shows all the way to cooking competitions. Also, haven't you ever wished for a volleyball net in our courtyard or an organized soccer game with actual goals? I'll advocate for these by fighting for a simple gym equipment exchange system to meet your basic needs. Finally, practical improvements. I'll advocate for charging stations, more auditorium desks with left-handed options, and an organized lost and found system with coat hangers so your jackets don't have to be on the floor. We can't forget about the bathrooms. I'll advocate for full-length mirrors, automatic soap dispensers, and proper hooks for your stalls, because these small things matter. The science isn't just in our lessons, it's how we work together. When something is broken, I'll fight to make it work. When you're voting for me, you're not just choosing a representative, you're joining an experiment in making Bronx Science work better for everyone. Your journey here should be as extraordinary as the minds that fill up your classrooms. So Bronx Science, take a stand, vote for Rachel Tan.
What's up, Bronx Science? I'm Sarah Bacheth, and I'm running to be your next JSLT. My goal is simple, to ensure that your initiatives and concerns don't disappear like the toilet paper and paper towels in our bathrooms. As your JSLT, I'll focus on sustainability, advocacy, resources, and activities. Or just remember my name, Sarah. Because what's better than a leader with a plan, one with a plan that spells out their name? Now, let's be honest. Bathroom issues have been a constant issue in our school, and so they've been overlooked for too long. I'll advocate for a better restocking system to make sure that you have the supplies that you need. On top of that, I want to organize a period product drive for more eco-friendly donations in our school. Communication is key, so I'll keep you in the loop with frequent Instagram and email updates so that you actually know what goes on behind the scenes of these SLT meetings. And students shouldn't have to be hungry just for taking an extra AP class. I'll plan to strongly advocate for an alumni fund and snack stand in the cafeteria so that students without a lunch period have the chance to snack in between classes. And course selection shouldn't be so indecisive. I'll push for a course selection week where each day focuses on a specific subject, giving students the opportunity to talk to upperclassmen and teachers to make more informed decisions about the classes that they want to take in the upcoming year. future. In a school of 3,000 students, we deserve the resources that we need to succeed. Imagine an internship web as a compiled spreadsheet where students can provide feedback on internships, including application processes, deadlines, and experiences for better connections to shape your future. And let's boost school spirit and creativity with fun initiatives like a locker decorating contest to brighten up our beige hallways, a limited edition merch design contest, and a scavenger hunt to help ease the transitions for new students coming into high school. As a varsity athlete of cross country and track, I believe that athletes deserve recognition for their hard work. So I'll reintroduce Athlete of the Week, Sport of the Month, and Team of the Month so that students can have the ability to have their work being shown and effort shown. Plus, I'll continue to advocate for launching a sports closet for students to borrow equipment during their free periods. So Bronx Science, it's time to make some real change. So let's start a new era and vote for Sarah. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you.
Next off, our secretary candidate.
What's up, Bronx Science? My name is Will Grundon, and I'm running to be your next SO secretary. I want to begin by saying that I'm not here to make false promises. I'm here to make genuine changes to our lives in and out of school. With realistic adjustments, I plan to make a big difference at Bronx Science. The first part of my platform focuses on wellness. Let's make our daily lives better. We all know the frustrations, from feeling exhausted in the mornings, having no supplies in the bathrooms, to being bored out of our minds during our free periods. That's why I will push for things such as tea bags available in the cafeteria, a student-maintained bathroom supply sheet to keep our bathrooms stocked, and a new borrowing system with sports equipment and board games to keep us entertained. But it isn't just about comfort. It's about opportunity. I want to create a bulletin board featuring internship and extracurricular opportunities for students to easily take advantage of. This can help us pursue our passions earlier on in high school. I also want to advocate to revamp elective day, ensuring that students can hear from their peers who have actually taken the courses. Getting insight from our peers can help us choose the classes that we actually want to take. Finally, I want to make a shared study guide drive to provide a reliable resource for students to use while studying for any exams. I also want to bring us closer together. I plan to create a Bronx Science podcast and radio station where different students can share their voices, hear from alumni, and discover what their classmates are listening to. I hope to eventually have special guest speakers featured on these platforms and help boost our school spirit. But we can't forget about the fun. Let's have pickleball tournaments in the spring, and even a school government versus school staff basketball game. Imagine our SO president facing off against the principal. It would be the matchup of the century. Finally, a street art competition to help decorate our courtyard, and with special prizes for the winners. Let's make these events unforgettable and create memories that we can all share. Being your secretary isn't just about helping to maintain the school. It's about being a trusted friend to support each student and ensure that we all grow together. I want to make sure that every voice is heard, and I will act on that to the best of my ability. So always remember, when there's a will, there's a way.
Hi, Bronx Science! My name is Lee McKeon. I'm ready to be your next SO secretary. I have the passion, commitment, and the experience for the job. Here at school, I'm Secretary of Youth Latino, have been a member of the SDC since the 9th grade, and most importantly, have been a member of SO Cabinet this past school year. In my time as a member, I've planned and facilitated events like Haunted House and Bob Ross painting, have made countless connections with students and staff, and have learned so much about the ins and outs of running and even getting a new event off the ground. These experiences have all made me well equipped and ready to serve as your next secretary. If elected, I would prioritize opportunities for de-stressing and relaxing, with events like craft days, video game tournaments, and movie nights where you and your friends can hang out and relax. Also, I know how overwhelming leadership opportunities here can be, so which is why I would send out leadership information about all the different branches of government and about all the different committees so you can know what you want to get involved in without having to wait for information sessions and applications to roll around. Also, I would work to start a new cooking competition tradition where you and your friends can enter and compete and get judged by a panel of students and staff, and then enjoy each other's creations in a huge potluck after. As for academics, I want to start AP studying seminars where those who have already taken an AP exam give presentations on tips and tricks that worked for them. That way you can feel more prepared and ready to ace those end-of-year exams. Bronx Science, I am ready to serve as your next secretary, and I have the experience to do it. I know how to advocate for the student voice, and I know how to get these realistic ideas out there. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to run. I can't tell you how appreciative I am. And for the very last time, if you want to see Bronx Science blue, vote Lily.
My name is Mia, and I have an idea. An idea for more accessible, student-focused, and exciting Bronx Science. I'm running to be your next SO secretary, but being secretary isn't just about keeping notes. It's about keeping promises. It's about turning ideas into action. So let's talk about big ideas. First off, I want to increase our athletics opportunities in our school. We have so many sports teams, yet most students don't even know about them until it's too late to join. That's why I'm proposing an open athletics day, a chance for students to walk around, meet the teams, play the sports just for fun without the stress of making the roster, because I think sports should be available to everyone. Now, let's talk about college. We all know how stressful the admissions process can be, but luckily, with a knowledgeable senior class that just went through the process, we can gain valuable advice. That's why I want to implement a student-led college Q&A panel where juniors can ask seniors questions and gain valuable advice. On the topic of guidance and connections, I want to ensure that students feel supported from day one. That's why I'm proposing a buddy system, a system where juniors are paired with a senior mentor, someone to help them navigate senior year. I'll also implement a similar program where freshmen are individually paired with upperclassmen. And I want to ensure that practical changes are also made. The bathroom situation, we all know it needs help, and I'll make sure it happens. We also need to make sure that Bronx Science feels like home. That means more Zen dens, more spirit weeks, more pep rallies, advocating for new food trucks on special days, beanbags in the library, and making sure that the question of the week is always updated. I also want to increase access to information in our school. I think this means an interactive course guide where you can take a course guide matchmaking quiz, something to match you with your dream elective. I also want to implement an alumni website, as well as a website where you can find opportunities, connections, and internships within your field of interest. Change always starts with a choice. So when it's time to vote, make the right one and remember, she's got the right idea, vote for Mia.
Thank you to our secretary candidates.
Now we have the vice presidential candidates.
Hey Bronx Science, my name is Thalia and I'm running to be your next vice president. I'm a junior and a member of SO Cabinet and our varsity soccer and lacrosse teams. And representing Bronx Science on the field, alongside teammates that have grown to become my best friends, is something that is super important to me. In such a big school, it can feel like we're broken up across our different interests, without a common sense of school pride and a united Bronx Science identity. This is why my goal as vice president is to cultivate a spirited and supportive environment so we can actually enjoy our high school years, rather than feel like we're just barely getting by. And this is how I'll make it happen. First, we need major events centered around school spirit to bring us together. I'll start a Color Wars in June, where students can compete in team games, and I'll advocate for water balloon fights, a slip and slide, and free ice cream for the winners. Next, with newly renovated Harris Field, we can make this a turning point for our school spirit by hosting courtyard pep rallies for home games every fall and spring. Second, I'll launch programs which immediately lighten your academic workload. It shouldn't feel like you have to run yourself dry to do well in your classes, but so often our students do, and this is because of a lack of resources. I'll create official study guides and practice tests for every major exam easily accessible to you. Set up a meaningful peer counseling program, and create a master spreadsheet of extracurricular programs and internships across all 5 boroughs by surveying the involvements of each graduating class. And finally, I'll make improvements to our day-to-day life, which also foster an uplifting community. I'll shout out individual student achievements with a new spotlight program, advocate to bring back picnic tables in the courtyard, and push for beanbags and lounge chairs in the library. But I can't do any of this alone, and it all comes down to your vote today for us to transform our school and make our high school years truly unforgettable. So don't stall, vote Thal. Thank you.
From rock climbers and chefs to environmentalists and ballerinas, Bronx Science is home to it all. Yet I'm confident that if I asked most students which part of their identity were proudest of, they would default to what they thought I wanted to hear, their grade in AP Physics or what they scored on the PSAT. I want to change that by making Bronx Science a place that students feel is equally an outlet for their personal and their academic pursuits, ensuring that no student feels like they need to fit inside of one box. Hello everyone, my name is Lindsay Sander and I'm running to be your next vice president. You might know me from SO Cabinet or Public Forum Debate, but what do I plan to do? At the heart of my vision is student individuality. Have you ever wished for course advice from someone who's actually taken the class? My solution, a course selection panel hosted by upperclassmen. Searching for the right club? How about a club matchmaker quiz? But of course, it's also natural to think to your future. That's why I plan to make those thoughts far less daunting with extracurricular meetings with guidance counselors. Next, individuality needs an outlet. Let's have a battle of the bands, art contests, and DJ auditions for students interested in emceeing major school events. Then, I want to improve communication. How about a Wolverine TV and SO Cabinet liaison that ensures that each event is promoted, or a Club of the Month featured on the main bulletin board? The final part of my platform includes small enhancements to boost spirits. Let's have board game rentals available during lunch periods and flippable signs on bathroom doors to signal product charges to custodians throughout the day. As a leader of the Nutritional Health Council, I'll push for meal preference boards. With a boost in communication, fun, and support, I hope that students feel more confident pursuing parts of their identity that make them distinctive. Because at the end of the day, we're remembered for what makes us stand out, not fit in. Let me give you the space to shine. And remember, don't meander, vote Sander.
I still remember my first day at Bronx Science, walking through the halls, overwhelmed by how big the school felt. But over time, it became a place where I found my passions, built friends, and realized that the people around me weren't just classmates, but a community of thinkers, leaders, and trailblazers. That is the community that I want to advocate for. Hey Bronx Science, I'm Joel, running to be your next vice president. This school has given us countless memories, so why not shape what's next? What if research and internship weren't just privileges, but guarantees? I know we're anxious about colleges, so let's bring back alumni from top schools to share their experiences, from landing internships to launching careers. Moreover, I want to advocate for a monthly Teacher AMA series where you can ask our dedicated teachers about colleges and much more. And let's ensure that our libraries are stocked with academic resources for the APs, SATs, and ACTs. But success isn't just about academics, it's about mental health and well-being. I want to advocate for de-stress corners, safe spaces where students can connect. And moreover, let's ensure that our libraries are maintained in pristine condition, clean and stocked, because no student should ever worry about basic necessities. Now, let's talk about school spirit. Bronx Science, sports aren't hitting the same, and we are more disconnected than ever, which is why I want to bring back pep rallies for every team, a Wolverine Talent Week, and an underground speaker series where we can showcase the hidden talents among us. And moreover, let's celebrate the rich diversity among us through a cultural exhibitions week that honors every heritage. But most importantly, I want your voices to shape our school. Let's have committee polls and Wolverine suggestions where your visions transform into tangible, ineffaceable change. This isn't just my campaign, it's our campaign, Bronx Science. A promise that together, we'll ensure that every voice is heard, every dream is possible, and every student leaves behind a legacy of ambition, tenacity, and progress. And remember, don't take the L and vote for Joel. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. That was amazing.
Now for our SO president candidates.
Thanks, y'all. That was amazing.
Now for our SO president candidates.
Hey Bronx Science, my name is Jinha Kim, and I'm so excited to be running to be your next SO president. I have a vision to make 4 years here that you will spend here nothing short of unforgettable. Using my last 2 years of experience on cabinet, where I chaired events like Carnival and Haunted House, I'll ensure that our student government is built with you and built for you. That's why my 3 priorities emphasize you. First, school spirit. Pulling all-nighters shouldn't be how we remember Bronx Science. I'll introduce new merch competitions where you can design new items like jerseys and bags. Our athletics deserves a spotlight too. Our 3v3 basketball tournaments, plus badminton and volleyball, as well as our school band. Playing at home games and pep rallies will make us more alive. Plus, a school gym equipment borrowing system will make sports more accessible for everyone. Second, academics and college readiness. I'll provide SAT, ACT materials through textbook sessions or textbook drives or info sessions. I'll also advocate for leadership workshops led by our very own student leaders to help you find your voice. And I also want to establish an extracurricular master folder, a constantly updated spreadsheet with volunteer and EC opportunities. And I'll collaborate with Alumni Foundation to bring in more information about the college process, especially about financial aid, first generation, and personal experiences. Finally, your daily experience and well-being. I'll advocate for better bathroom amenities and regularly checking stock. Phone charging stations in key locations like the library will be lifesavers. And I'll work tirelessly until we find a solution for congestion in our schools. Let me show you what 2 years of experience on SO combined with my firm resolve to help you uplift your voice can do for all of you. Thanks for listening, and remember, Jinha's got the vision, make the right decision.
Hi Bronx Science, I'm Evelyn Morris, and I'm running for your next SO president. I love Bronx Science, and that's why I want to do everything I can to get involved in it. I want to advocate for you, make real changes for you, and support you. To do that, my campaign focuses around 3 main pillars: students helping students, Bronx Science beautification, and increasing school spirit. First, I want to promote encouraging relationships among students to make them feel more supported and included. To do this, I'll work with upperclassmen to host Q&A seminars about course selection, as well as mock interviews for research and internship opportunities. I also want to advocate for college Q&A sessions with recent Bronx Science alumni and clarify our school's attendance policy. Second, I want to beautify Bronx Science. I mean, how else do we create a more energetic and fun environment? I want to increase our school's environmental awareness, as well as create art displays through creative group activities and fun activities, as well as competitions. And last, but seriously not least, I want to increase our school spirit. Keeping the Bronx Science spirit alive is key to a successful high school experience. I want to work with SO to host cultural performances where people can show off not only their diversity, but their creativity. I also want to host movie nights, as well as more school dances and the Great Bronx Science Bake Off. At Bronx Science, more is increasing school spirit. More is lifting each other up. More is not only beautifying Bronx Science, but its practices as well. At Bronx Science, more is voting Evelyn Morris. And remember, for the win, vote Evelyn.
Hey Bronx Science, my name is Ella Namias and I'm running to be your next SO president. You may know me from the football team, soccer team, or the cultural food club, but my favorite part of my time at Bronx Science has been SO Cabinet. Through planning events like Cupid's Bash, the Pep Rally, and more, I've learned a lot about collaboration and leadership, and I've also been exposed to some problems that I aim to fix as your next president. First, students need help. I know what it's like to be a student at this school, constantly feeling stressed and overwhelmed. A program similar to Big Sips for sophomores and juniors, with senior volunteers guiding other students through the college process, is just the beginning. I also never want students to feel overwhelmed in the pressure of their classes and not know where to get helpful study resources. A school-wide Google Drive with student-made study guides is a perfect way to get students started. I want to bridge the gap between student government and the student body through monthly emails updating the student body on upcoming SO events, as well as asking students what events they want to see. I would also advocate for students to have the chance to meet with different branches of student government, like SO, JV, and more, to learn about the branch and give feedback. Another problem I want to fix are the bathrooms. They're constantly understocked or dirty, and it's hard for the custodial staff to know when these issues happen. This could easily be fixed by a QR code system and a sanitation committee. Now for the fun part. I would advocate for sports equipment in the courtyard for students to play with during their lunch and free periods, as well as an Athlete Appreciation Month where we highlight different teams and multiple athletes from each team. I would also push for more school-wide events like Bronx Science Squid Games, as well as a school dance and more academic and athletic teacher-student events. As your SO president, these aren't the only changes I would implement. I have so many other ideas, but I also want to hear yours. I'm experienced, excited, determined, and I know I can be the SO president you all deserve. So remember to be a boss and vote Namias.
Thank you to our SO president candidates.
Last but not least, we have our candidates for Senior Council President. Remember, only juniors are allowed to vote for them.
Hi juniors, did you know the average senior spends 7,000 hours in school by graduation? That's 7,000 hours of tests, projects, and pretending to understand calculus. But do you know what we don't spend enough time doing? Creating unforgettable senior memories. I'll fix that by having more spirit days, like a senior nostalgia night where we bring back slime, Legos, and a bunch of other things from our childhood. I'll also advocate for a White Lies Day, dress like a Senior Citizens Day, anything but a backpack day, and a senior field day. Let's also have board games in the cafeteria for when we want to pretend to study, and a charger borrowing system. And as we know, senior year isn't all about fun. It's also a big step towards the future. I'll advocate for more college fairs and resources, free student subscriptions to academic websites like Grammarly or Quizlet, and a giant college spreadsheet with everything you need for college apps like deadlines, scholarships, and much more. And from a senior podcast to advocating for more graduation cords, I want to make real changes that actually happen. I'll send out monthly surveys so you can tell me exactly what you want for your senior year. Because it isn't just my senior year, it's ours, and I want to make sure we all enjoy it. And I'm not simply just talking about these changes, I'm already putting them into action. As a junior intern on Senior Council, I've gained a lot of experience planning senior events like homecoming, collaborating with faculty, and I'm able to apply these changes to next year's events so we can have even better events. So juniors, if you're scared or stressed about senior year, just remember, don't fret, vote Juliet, and I'll make next year the best one yet. Thank you so much, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Hey juniors, my name is Sarah Fish, and I'm running to be your Senior Council President. Imagine our senior year, a time to make memories that will last a lifetime. Let's increase the fun, decrease the stress, and meet the people we've never talked to before. That's why my platform revolves around those 3 pillars, or what I like to call my 3 wishes: friendship, fun, and future. This is our senior year, let's make it count. My first wish is friendship. We are so lucky to go to a school with so many different people. Think about the person you sat next to in English freshman year, or maybe the person that rides in your train car every morning. You know their face, but do you actually know them as a person? I hope to get to know these people and hope you do as well. I want to introduce things like senior cameras, a senior cookbook, a senior playlist, college merch swaps, and celebrate our senior athletes in order to make this happen. Next is fun. I know our senior year could be stressful, but I hope stress isn't the way you remember this place. Rather, I want to advocate for positive memories of things like a senior Olympics, a homecoming dance, and a cafeteria with snacks, games, and so much more. Finally, it's your future. What do you actually want to do, and how will you get there? I know that can be a daunting question, but I hope that as senior council president, I can help you find the path that is true to you. Let's create a database of postgraduate opportunities and implement a college Q&A with recent seniors. I want to advocate for graduation courts to show off everything you've achieved and create open houses for things like the planetarium and the Stanley Mann Lab and all the resources our school has that you maybe have never seen before. And you may be wondering, what makes me the candidate to make this happen? As a senator, varsity debater, and a tutor, I have found my way of getting things done. That's why, as senior council president, I truly believe I can give you the best year possible. But remember, those are my wishes, and you're voting for your senior year. So, vote for Fish, get your wish.
Hey juniors, my name is Avery Jane, and I'm running to be your next senior council president. For the past 3 years, I've competed on varsity sports teams, led clubs, and I've balanced a bunch of other commitments just like all of you. But I still feel like we haven't been able to fully enjoy the high school experience. We're always pushed to look ahead and to focus on what comes next. And as college becomes one of the bigger things in our minds, it's really easy to forget to slow down and appreciate all of our moments together. That's why I would love for next year to be fun, exciting, and full of energy, and I have 3 big ideas to make that happen. My first big idea is senior keepsakes and memorabilia. Let's create a video yearbook capturing some of the best moments of next year. We can put together a senior time capsule filled with letters and keepsakes, and my personal favorite, bringing back Bronx Science varsity jackets. My second big idea is spirit weeks and theme days. I've been able to talk to so many of you over the past 2 months, and some of the most suggested ideas have included White Lies Day, Dress as Your Type Day, and Rhyme Without Reason Day. I'll advocate for these themes along with so many others to make sure that you feel excited about participating in our Spirit Weeks next year. Finally, my third big idea is fun and interactive events. Let's have a senior cookout to kick things off next year, a senior dunk tank event, and a senior tie-dye event. On the days we aren't outside, let's have a senior Shark Tank competition, projected sporting events in the cafeteria, and let's work on building a massive senior superlatives bulletin board. I really love this school and the people in it, and I'll work hard to make our senior year unforgettable. Thank you so much for your time and consideration today, and don't forget, the choice is plain, vote Avery Jane.
That was terrific, everyone. And now let's move on to the voting procedures. In the next clip, you will see a QR code, and make sure to only access that form through your DOE emails.
And this year it'll be by ranked choice voting, which means you'll rank your first, second, and third choice for every position. The form will close at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and the results will be sent out by email by tomorrow evening.
And thank you to our judicial board for running an excellent election season this year.
Good luck to all of our candidates.
Catch you next time.
And as always, thanks for watching!